Here's everything you need to know about the original internet troll, Perez Hilton, and why the world canceled him and his content. Perez Hilton has been around since 2001, but he hasn't really been relevant in the last few years after getting canceled for how he treated celebrities and their children online. He had a gossip column where he would talk about celebrities and what's going on in their lives, but he would do it in an extremely nasty, negative way. A lot of people criticized him for being an online bully and a troll. He would often take photos of celebrities and draw inappropriate pictures on them, especially around their face. He would give people nasty nicknames, and he would also out gay celebrities who weren't out yet to the public. Perez Hilton created a website, which he still runs today, and in 2005 it was dubbed as Hollywood's most hated website because of the content he uploaded and posted. A lot of people noticed at the time that Perez Hilton typically went after women, and a few of those women that he went after hard were people like Jennifer Aniston, Britney Spears, and even Miley Cyrus. Perez has also been accused of sharing inappropriate pictures of underage celebrities. In 2010, he uploaded a photo of her getting out of a car and alleged that she wasn't wearing underwear. Of course, everyone was extremely upset about this, including Miley, who ended up calling him an idiot. Miley went after him again in 2013 over his coverage where he was saying that Miley cheated on Liam Hemsworth. She even took to her Twitter account at the time to go after him. You can pause to read the messages. He did respond to her saying that he was just reporting on what he heard and said, "Happy to hear it's wrong, genuinely wish you nothing but the same," and she wasn't having any of it. Another young celebrity he loved to go after was Mischa Barton, and he didn't just post celebrity gossip about her, he fat shamed her and made fun of her body any chance he could get. I'm going to share with you some of the posts he made about Mischa from his own website. They're still there. They're in the archive section if you want to go look for them. The photos, however, are removed, and there could be a number of reasons for this. One of them may be because they were so gross and he drew all over them inappropriate things that he took them down himself, but I doubt that. What's more likely is he was actually sued for taking photos from tabloids and using them without permission, so he may have had to remove them for that reason. One of the bullying tactics Perez is known for is giving people disgusting nicknames, and Mischa was no exception. So this article is titled, "Mischa Barton Continues to Gross Us Out," and her nickname that he used for her was Mushy. He called her Mushy Fartone, and in this one, he's talking about how gross her cellulite is, saying it's cottage cheese, and making fun of her cankles. This article about her was titled, "Bloated Much, Mushy?" Apparently this article was about her getting her car towed, but you wouldn't know from what he wrote. He says she's seen cruising around, looking as bloated as ever. Why has someone let her stop taking care of herself? She was getting good there for a while. To add to her mushy cushy face, she had to watch her vintage car get towed on Tuesday. It must be hard to read parking signs when you are as high as the hills. So alleging that she's on drugs. If you were a fan of The Hills, then you know they did a reboot a few years ago and Mischa Barton was on it. They ended up inviting Perez Hilton to be on an episode so that Mischa could confront him. She ended up saying to him, "This bullying that you did for so long to so many young girls, I find it hard to let go. I don't really sit well with people who purposely harm other people." When Perez went after Bruce Willis's daughter Tallulah, who at the time was only 15 years old, Demi Moore then went after him. So Perez uploaded a photo that was very unflattering of Tallulah. She was out partying with her friends in LA. She had a low-cut top on, her eyes were shut, and Demi responded saying, "Clearly, Perez Hilton isn't taking violating child laws very seriously. He might not, but there are a lot of people who do." And of course, he loved the negative publicity, so instead of taking down the photo or even apologizing, he buckled down and said he was going after Demi Moore for defaming him. And he wrote and said, "Expect a letter from my attorney, kitten." And then Kirstie Alley chimed in. She said, "I don't condone men who ridicule and sexually degrade minors." And not surprisingly, Perez said he was going to sue her for defamation as well. It's hard to imagine anyone being mean to Adam Sandler, but Perez Hilton was. He made blog posts calling Adam Sandler's children fat and ugly. In 2009, he went on the Tyra Banks show where she asked him, "Do you regret any of the things you've said or done on your blogs, your posts, your website, etc.?" And he said no. He said the only regret he had was his Fidel Castro nightmare from 2007. He claimed his exclusive sources told him that the president of Cuba, Fidel Castro, was dead. He ran with that story. Everyone was losing their minds, and then it came out to be completely false. There's been a few times Perez says that he's turning over a new leaf, that he's going to be a better person, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
This is something that I'm doing because I want to, because I'm growing and I'm going to be 33 years old and I want to be a dad. And no, I don't think it's right to make fun of kids anymore. I did it in the past and I regret it.
Perez Hilton did end up becoming a father, and this is how the world responded. Perez Hilton, man who draws on women's faces, had a baby girl. Congratulations to Perez Hilton, the blogger who made his living circling photos of actresses' cellulite and calling Mischa Barton mushy fartone on the birth of his new baby daughter. Hey, remember when he used to call Rumor Willis Potato Head, or said that Adam Sandler's 2-year-old daughter was ugly? Anyway, great to hear that such a strong supporter of women is now the father of a little girl. I could go on and on with listing all the things this man has said and done to people, but I don't have time in this video, so I'll just rip through a couple of them quickly. So in 2005, Colin Farrell sued him. He had posted an alleged link to a sex tape. He posted a topless picture of Jennifer Aniston in 2007, and he went after Jennifer Aniston hard. He had awful nicknames for Jennifer Aniston. It was terrible.
I no longer will be calling Jennifer Aniston by the name that I have referred to her for a long time. I no longer will call Rumor Willis by that name. I still want to be me and be fun and be sassy without being vanilla, and also without being malicious or hurtful and nasty.
That all sounded good when he posted that video saying the nicknames would stop, but of course they didn't.
Ku Klux Khaleesi's D-list actress and F-list human, Blake Lively, the age of Adelying actress, Blake Eleanor Brown Lively Caca. You can't say caca and not laugh. Boone Hall Bridezilla, the wench of multitudes, Bland Boozley, the antebellum peddler, Cherokee Khaleesi, Butthole Lively, the high school graduate.
In 2009, when Michael Jackson had his cardiac arrest, he was making nasty posts claiming it was a publicity stunt. He soon deleted all of that, of course. In 2006, he outed Lance Bass and Neil Patrick Harris, and when the LGBTQ plus community came after him for doing this, his response was, if you know something is a fact, why not report it? He had no empathy or compassion for either of these men. For some reason, in 2009, they asked him to judge the Miss USA contest, and he asked Miss California a question on whether or not she believed they should legalize same-sex marriage, and she responded based on the religious beliefs that she was brought up with, that only men and women should be married, and he went after her online. He called her a dumb bitch and said it was the worst answer in pageant history. The next year is when he made his big video on YouTube saying he's turning a new leaf, that he doesn't want to be known as a bully anymore, and he wants to be a father, and he's just going to change his ways. That, of course, didn't last long, and soon Lady Gaga and him went at it on Twitter. She was even calling him a stalker. Do you remember when Lady Gaga had hip surgery and had to cancel her tour? Well, it turns out Perez Hilton wasn't very kind to her during that time. She tweeted this saying, "Still have the text Perez sent me of me in a wheelchair with the words karma written across and Madonna pointing this at me, and it was the day of my accident." And of course, Gaga being who she is, she also said this, "Please, monsters, do not be affected by someone like this. Nothing merits this kind of hatred. I'm okay and I always survive. Ignore him. Just dance." Angelina Jolie went after him, threatening to sue him over his coverage of her divorce with Brad Pitt, and check out how he responded to her. In 2009, Perez Hilton got into it with will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas, and it was over comments and remarks he'd been making about Fergie. And in 2006, you might recall Fergie wrote the song Pedestal. She later confirmed that that song was about Perez Hilton and the negative remarks he made about her. When the altercation happened with will.i.am, he actually called them a really derogatory word. It is up here. And of course, again, the LGBTQ community came after him, and he issued sort of an apology saying, "The other night in Toronto, after feeling physically threatened by a verbally abusive will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas, I chose the most hurtful word I know to hurl at him. I was in an out of the ordinary situation and used a word that I would not utter under normal circumstances." John Mayer even got involved in this commotion. He tweeted saying, "I love that Perez Hilton uses his cell phone to log on to Twitter to post a tweet to ask his followers to call the police for him." So when he was being attacked by will.i.am, he ended up posting the whole conversation. Then after Mayer posted this, it ended up in a back and forth on Twitter between them. Other celebrities were getting involved. And then Perez just ended it by calling him a dumb. And John Mayer wasn't wrong. Instead of using his phone to contact the police, he used it for PR. He tweeted saying, "I'm in shock. I need the police ASAP. Please come to the Soho Metropolitan Hotel now, please." And then a couple minutes later, "I was assaulted by will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas and his security guards. I'm bleeding, please. I need to file a police report. No joke." Still waiting for the police. The bleeding has stopped. I need to document this. Please, can the police come to the Soho Met Hotel? Then he writes saying, "I spoke to my lawyer. I really need to talk to the authorities. Please come to the Soho Met Hotel. Have called the police. Need them here." And in typical Perez fashion, he decided to sue will.i.am, and his lawyer was none other than Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, who posted saying Perez Hilton was assaulted by the band's road manager because he would not agree to stop writing about the Black Eyed Peas on his website. Whether you love Perez or hate him, he's entitled to his freedom of speech without fear of violence. This lawsuit will make the statement that violence is never the answer. Perez loved threatening lawsuits on celebrities, but he also had a number of lawsuits against him. I already mentioned in 2005, he had Colin Farrell try and sue him over a sex tape link. In 2007, Jennifer Aniston tried to sue him, but he also had other people coming after him, like the paparazzi. Most of the photos that Perez was using in his content that he was drawing inappropriate things on celebrities' faces were being taken from paparazzi sites. So they were taking these photos and then he was taking them and uploading them to his page. So in 2006, a photo agency actually sued him for $7.5 million for copyright infringement. He tried to claim that it was a fair use exception, but they weren't buying it. And a few months later, 5 celebrity photo agencies joined in on a joint lawsuit against him for the same reason, and they were going after $7 million in damages. And just 3 days later, another photo agency filed a lawsuit against him for the same reasons. And because of this, 2 months later, the web hosting service that housed his webpage canceled him, kicked him out. They said the liability risk was too high. In August of 2009, he settled this out of court, and the terms haven't been disclosed, so we have no idea how much he had to give them. And while all of that was going on, he was also slapped with copyright infringement for a recording of Britney Spears that he released illegally, and he settled that out of court as well. So after settling all these paparazzi lawsuits in 2009, in 2010 is when he uploaded his videos saying he was turning over a new leaf and he was going to change his ways.
I don't want to be a bully.
Again, in 2015, Perez Hilton put self-improvement center stage. Now, he'd become a father, said he was changing his ways, and he was going to be a good guy.
And I changed, and I stopped, and I don't do everything that I used to do and how I used to do it. And not everybody has that growth in life. I think we should be mindful of our words and actions and be considerate of others. And you can express yourself without being a total D-bag.
But at the same time, this was going down. Angelina Jolie was suing him over her divorce coverage with Brad Pitt, and he writes back to her saying, "Please get this message to Angelina Jolie herself. She knows. I've always been a huge fan and supporter of hers. I am livid. Unless she wants to turn me into an enemy, I want an apology right now. I am not changing anything. If you want to sue me, my lawyer's Brian Friedman and he is CC'd. I did nothing illegal. We stand 100% behind our reporting. F you and suck my... Yeah, not quite the change he'd been talking about, I guess. Then 2020 hits, he joins TikTok, and he immediately starts going after people as usual, but he starts going after some pretty big influencers on the TikTok channel, including Charli D'Amelio, who had more followers than anyone on the app. He actually joined the app in 2019 and he gained 1.6 million followers and was earning about 10 million views per week. He was making some good money on this app, and then everything went down the drain for him. Charli D'Amelio at this time was 15 years old, and he commented on one of her videos saying, "Anyone else think it's inappropriate for a 15-year-old to dance to this?" And it was a video that she had posted in which she was dancing in a bikini to a remix of the song Sugar by Brockhampton, and she responded to it. She said, "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to have fun," and her fans went crazy. They immediately made a petition to get him removed off the app, and they started mass reporting his comment and his videos that were bullying. He gets kicked off and then he posts this. I am banned from TikTok. Dear Charlie D'Amelio, please watch, please help. I'm devastated. Truly, I'm begging, please. This is not right or warranted. Hashtag free Perez, hashtag Perez Hilton. He tags her, he tags all of TikTok on here, and it was December 12th of 2020. He was making a bunch of videos where he was begging TikTok and these influencers to do something to get him back on the app. He was blaming the influencers for mass reporting his account and getting all of their fans together to do this. He said, not only do they band together and mass report your account, they mass report your comments, so you're banned from commenting for several days or a week. The New York Times got the emails between Perez Hilton and his content manager at TikTok, and he was claiming that all the negative videos he was posting about Black Lives Matters and these Karens he was sharing were newsworthy. He wrote saying, I'm sharing those for newsworthy value, and they've never gotten taken down from any other platform. His TikTok manager responded saying, there's nothing more I can do at this point. Our community guidelines apply to everyone and to everything shared on TikTok. You violated multiple community guidelines, some of which have zero tolerance rules. Thank you for understanding and respecting our commitment to keep the community safe. His response to this? No matter what happens, I'm still Perez Hilton. I'm bigger than any one app or any one thing. People will still seek me out and employ me and have me do things. I'm excited for the future. Now, this isn't the first time that he's used his name as clout, trying to act like he's a bigwig. Check out this video.
And I'm an icon. And I don't say that cockily. I am an icon. Perez is forever. And I'm bigger than any one thing. I'm banned on TikTok, and 99% of the population knows who I am.
So he's actually been kicked off the app since 2020. He kept coming back, trying to make new accounts. Perez Hilton this, Perez Hilton that, and they were all getting banned. He has now returned to the app, however, under a different name. It doesn't have his own name in it, and I don't know what he's using as an IP address, etc. But so far, the account is still there. He started regularly uploading and posting content again over a year ago, and everyone was thinking he had changed his ways, that he was being more respectful, more professional, and even I started following him. However, things quickly changed. Once he started covering the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case, it quickly showed that he still has his bullying ways and quickly has given her multiple nicknames. Blake Lively has also gone after him in her court documents over the names he's been calling her. In just one video in the first 5 minutes, these are 2 names he called her.
Blake Lively. Betty Poop.
He's now made over 500 disparaging videos about Blake Lively and her lawsuit, and he's also been given his own subpoena for messages between him and Justin Baldoni's team. He was actually named by Justin Baldoni's crisis management person, Melissa Nathan at TAG, as having been in contact with her and posting content on behalf of them. There were actually 4 content creators named by Melissa Nathan at TAG as having been in contact with them and uploading content on behalf or at the request of them. It was Perez Hilton, Andy Signor, Candace Owens, and Billy Bush. Justin Baldoni's team was asked to send over any individuals or entities who were seeding, generating, creating, or influencing social media content or providing related digital or social media services directly or indirectly at the request of or on behalf of any Wayfair party or their agents or affiliates. Once those 4 names were given to Blake Lively's legal team, they issued 3 subpoenas, one to Candace Owens, one to Andy Signor, and one to Perez Hilton. Now, he immediately started using the court docket for PR. He was posting and uploading videos about everything, begging for the subpoena to be sent to him. He even reached out to Blake Lively's legal team and asked them to send it to his email address. He also decided to represent himself, and that way he could write his own letters that would be shown in the court docket for publicity. And when one content creator on Reddit asked him why he chose not to get a lawyer, he wrote this: "Great lawyers are expensive. This saves me money. Number 2, this gets me attention. Number 3, this gives me more content I can make. Number 4, this makes me money. Number 5, thanks, Blake. And number 6, it's not that serious. I did nothing wrong. I'm not being sued. What's the worst that can happen?" Perez Hilton was getting so disrespectful in the court docket that even the anti-Blake creators like this one shared a comment saying, "At this rate, Perez Hilton deserves to be held in contempt. Fine him and let's move this circus show along." Andy Signor, who was also subpoenaed and is also an anti-Blake creator, even responded to this, agreeing, saying, "Those of you applauding this lack of decorum in court are enabling him and playing right into Blake's hands to make us look like a circus or a mob. This isn't TikTok. It's a court of law and people's livelihoods are in jeopardy. We should treat this with respect." And just a side note, Andy Signor is obviously using this for PR as well, because even though he shared this to make himself look good, he also had Perez Hilton up on his YouTube channel interviewing him and talking about all of this. So there's your recap, or what I can fit in this video anyway, about why Perez Hilton was canceled and why no one wanted to see his content anymore. So when people ask me why I have such a problem with his anti-Blake content, this is why. I think he's an online bully, and I had hoped he changed his ways, but it's become very evident through Blake Lively's case that is not what's happened. I personally have no interest in watching an online bully, and I don't feel they should be on social media. So perhaps the original king of the trolls should go back and rewatch some of the videos where he was talking about turning over a new leaf and becoming a better person.